Hello there. Welcome to my show, COVID-19 update by Heerak. Yeah, it's we are heading toward the winter. Um, it's November 10th, 2020, and yeah, it's National Forget Me Not Day. No one wants to be forgotten, right? Do you want to be forgotten? Yeah. So today is like National Forget Me Not Day. Um, do you think that you're forgotten among people you knew before? Are you forgettable or are you unforgettable? Obviously, if you're married as a woman, some guy thinks that you're unforgettable or he doesn't want to forget you. That's why he married you. You know what I'm saying? Um, so all married women can safely say uh, they have proof that somebody doesn't want to forget them. You see what I'm saying? Um, yeah, hopefully you're one of these fortunate souls who has the blessing of someone who doesn't want to forget them. It's a big commitment for someone to choose to spend the rest of their life with you, right? So men generally know, within 1 month who they want to marry. Like if if a guy hasn't proposed to you after like 3 years of dating, he doesn't really want to marry you. Simple as that. Because most guys, I would say 99.9% of the guys know that they're in love after like a month of dating, or less. Some people know that they're in love at first sight. Guys fall in love because of what they see as beautiful. It's just yeah, guys fall in love because of what they see. Um, and women don't understand this because women say things like, "How can you love me when you don't even know me?" Have you heard that before? You're a guy, you've heard that before. There are a lot of guys who understand that women think you're fake if you tell them you love them. So like they purposely don't say it, even if they love the girl, because they don't want to drive the women away, because they know that women are not like men. Um, Women get kind of scared if you tell them like you love them after a few dates. You know what I mean? Um, so guys who feel like they love the girl, they won't say it. They'll pretend like they're not really in love because they don't want to drive the girl away, and mostly because of experience. Maybe they had a girl that they really were in love with and said that, and the girl got kind of scared and just ran away. So experience taught them like, hey, just don't say that. Um, Guys, in the men's world, men know like when they see a girl who's like amazing in their mind, they fall in love like within like 24 hours. You know, most men know who they want to marry within a month. Like as I said, if the guy doesn't propose to you after like more than a year, he doesn't really love you. Um, I mean, he loves you. I mean, but people love people. When you love your friends, but when a guy is in love with you, he will propose to you because that's just the way guys are. Guys want to possess things. That's just what guys are. So there may be several reasons why the guy hasn't proposed to you yet. Yeah, because number one reason why guy hasn't proposed to you is because you gave him sex. Guys lose respect for the women who give them sex. Just men are wired that way. So, there's a saying among men Men want their girlfriends to like give them sex, but men want to marry a virgin. What that means is, you may think like you're getting a guy by being like sexually promiscuous with him, but guys don't want a sexually promiscuous girl to be his wife because he's thinking if she's like sexually promiscuous with me, then she's gonna cheat on me. That's the way guys think. So like some women think like, "Ooh, I'm gonna give him sex to keep him," but guys think like, "Man, she's a whore. She's a slut." I mean, yeah, I like to have sex with her, but like as my girlfriend, not as my wife. So a lot of men think this way, and some people call it like the Virgin Mary factor, but this existed before Virgin Mary. You know, but maybe you could say the reason why many men venerate Virgin Mary is because of her virginity, right? And the Catholic Church will talk about perpetual virginity. I'm Presbyterian, but and that kind of highlights the fact that men respect women who are virgins. It's not just in Christianity, because if you know, in ancient Greek religions, we have Vespa virgins, right? They're virgins, and they're supposed to be like virgins. So power of virginity has been a concept since beginning of time, and men respect women until they have sex with them, right? Unless their wife, right? Um, Since guys are that wired that way, you can't change it. It's biological. Um, I mean, a lot of feminists throughout history, feminists in ancient Greek Empire, feminists in ancient Roman Empire, they've all tried to change, um, perception that men have, um, you know, throughout different periods in history in different places, but they've all failed because, biological dictates um, triumph. Think about it. If you're a guy and you want to procreate, right? That's a biological dictate of all animals, and human beings are rational. And you want to procreate and kind of pass on your bloodline, right? That's a big thing. I mean, it's with all animals, right? You want to be confused as to whether your child is yours or not. You see what I'm saying? So there's a fear in all men that their children are not theirs. And this is just fear that all men have, you know? Um, and fear that their wife will cheat on them, not be faithful to them. This is a fear that's very real in every man. And if you are a girl who dated a guy, you see this kind of insecurity among men, and that's biological. All men have it. Sometimes it shows itself in jealousy. Sometimes it shows itself in anger. Sometimes it shows itself in, some men just take off, without saying a word. Some men, they can't handle it. But these are all common to male species. And so, for men, perpetual virginity of Mary, this concept is important, and that's why a lot of men venerate uh, Saint Mary. Um, and in the Protestant church, we talk about the virgin birth of Jesus, right? She was a virgin when she gave birth to Jesus, and Protestants say after that she gave birth to children of Joseph. She was, pure in the sense that she didn't cheat on Joseph. Um, yeah, if you're women out there, just remember, Virginity is important to men. That's why sometimes women lie about virginity, right? Because they know virginity is important to men. It's very important to men. It doesn't matter if the man is Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, atheist. You know, the man who may be a raging atheist. The majority of the men who are raging atheists want their women to be chaste. You know, that's like the majority. I mean, you may have a few, oddball exceptions, but and it goes to the biological dictates. Um, Men don't want their children to be fathered by somebody else. So they have a hard time trusting a woman who, freely gave them sex. Because they're in their mind, they're like, if she gave me freely sex, she's kind of like a slut, you know? I mean, he will never say it to the girlfriend, but he's thinking it. So the best strategy for women is to hold off having sex until getting married. That's the smartest strategy. Some women are very good at using that strategy and get married by the time they're like 21. But the dumb women, they have sex with the man and the men lose respect for that because 99.9% of the men will not have respect for the women who have sex with them. It's just, and sometimes in the heat of the moment, you let go. But, the song, will you still love me tomorrow? Most men fake it. They tell like they still love you the next day because they want to be polite, be a nice guy, but most men don't, I mean, they lie for a day. Um, and then they just, you never hear from them, or, if the guy is not a fly guy, then, he may stay with you until finds another girl, So you're like being strung along for 3 years and there's no wedding ring and then you can get dumped any second, It's just, and you develop insecurities as a woman because you've been dating this guy for 3 years and you gave him sex and he hasn't even proposed. He's not going to propose. Because as I said, most men know whether they want to marry a woman or not in like a month, within a month, less than a month. So if he hasn't proposed to you like within a year, sometimes men want to propose but they get scared or whatever, they play games. But if the guy hasn't proposed to you in a year, you should just dump him, move on. Because even I think the smartest women will not give sex until they're married. That's the smartest strategy, but not all women are strong, right? You have to be strong enough to overcome your sexual desires. The guys, guys are always trying to get into girls' pants, right? That's like the priority number one for most men is to have sex with the woman, whoever it is, So it takes a lot for women to resist temptation that they themselves, hormonal things that they experience themselves that get them excited. And also, some guys are kind of seducers. Um, you know, um, and sometimes women succumb to the seduction, right? And if you see like dangerous liaison, you see that. Even religious Christian women can succumb to seduction, right? Reverend Jerry Falwell Jr., Reverend Jerry Falwell's son, Jerry Falwell Jr.'s wife, succumbed to the seduction of a guy who is a pool cleaning boy, right? Yeah, I mean, you can't really trust anyone in the world, really. I mean, you can't really trust anyone. Um, yeah, people who trust people are probably, with their woman, are probably stupid. Yeah. Yeah, you can never trust a woman with anyone, even your best buddy, you know. Um, yeah, because men are men, men are like dogs, Um, so yeah, but women have to be smart because men are like dogs. They're after one thing. I mean, I would say all 99%, 9% of men, that's what they want. Um, so if you're a woman, single woman, you have to be smart, or you just want to get screwed, literally screwed, and then screwed over. and have an unhappy life. Um, yeah, I mean, you gotta be smart, especially like you have to be smart during normal times, but during COVID-19, I mean, especially you have to be smart. You don't want to be like somebody's hoe. She's a hoe. She's somebody's hoe. You don't want to be that girl. Um, yeah, you don't want to be somebody's hoe. That's the worst that you can be anytime, but especially during COVID because you're like guaranteeing yourself like unhappiness. I mean, if your guy hasn't proposed to you in COVID-19, America, geez, his love level for you is really low. He can lie to you. All guys lie to women. I love you, just to get sex. If he thinks he's gonna get sex by saying that, he'll say it. Um, yeah, you have to be smart as a woman, or you're not gonna survive COVID-19. Really, I mean, you're gonna be the loneliest person in the world. Um, yeah, I mean, I feel that I need to share this with you because there are so many lies in the world, especially with liberal media. Some women are like bound to lifetime of unhappiness, and I think that's not fair for the women. They need to hear the truth, right? The truth that is not being spoken, you know. But it's the truth, so you need to hear it, right? And you do whatever you want with it. You can throw the truth away if you want. But you deserve the truth. Every woman in the world deserves to know what men generally think. You know. And so, on this National Forget Me Not Day, I want to share truth about men um, that is important for women to know, for their own happiness. And sorry, guys, I know, you're kind of riding high on all the lies, and getting all that free sex. And you're probably, pissed at me for saying the truth. It's this kind of thing you're not supposed to say, because all guys want sex and they don't want anything to cut down on that potential. But I mean, come on. I mean, you may have a sister. I have two younger sisters. You know um I mean, if fair is fair, I think you should give them a heads up. Um you know what I'm saying? um yeah, I mean, and I mean, even women who know all this, they succumb to temptation, they succumb to seduction. It's not just like ignorance, right? But I think it's not fair for women to be ignorant of this reality, this truth, because that's just not fair. I mean, guys are always trying to have sex with women. Women should know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, fair is fair. Um, yeah. So yeah, don't get too upset at me, guys. But I'm sure you're upset at me. Yeah, we had it easy, Heerak. Why do you tell the women the truth? That's like everybody saying it right now. All the men watching this show. But yeah, we gotta be fair because women, their life is valuable. Their life is important to them, their parents. Their themselves. And so they need to know the truth. And then if they wanna, throw the truth away, it's their prerogative, right? Yeah. So yeah. Um, yeah, we had 1,397 deaths in the last 24 hours. I'm telling you, America's headed to 3 million deaths. United States, we're going to have over 3 million US citizens die by June. That's like, I would say that's guaranteed. Um, and then we're just finding out that this is going to be the case with more and more evidence. That's what I would say. Um, people like to lie to themselves when there's a lot of tragedy. Um, you may know someone who they have lost both of their parents in a car accident, and they were orphaned. Or someone who lost their child to sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS. It kills many children every year. There's like no reason why the baby dies, but they die. Um, and they're in a state of denial. You've probably seen that. Um, yeah, I mean, it's sad. You know. And so with COVID-19 death, a lot of people are in a state of denial. They don't want to believe that millions of people can die, even though they know it. They know it in the back of their mind, but they don't want to say it. They don't want to say that it's going to come true because they think like if they don't say it, it's not going to come true. But it's never that way. Realities happen whether you say it, verbalize or non-verbalize, doesn't matter. It's going to happen. Um, so with 1,397 COVID-19 deaths in the 24 hours, we have 239,598 cases. Or not cases, deaths, right? 239,598 deaths since like April. This show started April 2nd, and on April 2nd, we had like around 7,000 deaths, a little over 5,000 deaths. So most of the death happened after April. So, I mean, geez, let's think about this. April, May, June, July, August, September. 6 months. This is like 6 months of death is 250,000. And it's summertime, most of it. So what do you think is going to happen in the winter? 6 months of winter. So we're in November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. What do you think is going to happen in the next 6 to 8 months? I'm Heerak Christian King, independent candidate for U.S. House of Representatives 8th District, and I'm saying minimum 3 million Americans will die by June 2021, but closer to 30 million Americans. Because all you need is 60,000 Americans dying in every state for you to have 3 million Americans dead from COVID. There's going to be far more than 60,000 deaths per state. The states are not shutting down. Cases are spreading. It could take 4 or 5 months for people with COVID to die or develop severe symptoms. So there are people who got COVID 5 weeks ago. They still have it. And some of them starts getting worse. There could be triggers. People don't even know what triggers COVID, to be more severe or less severe. People don't know. Scientists don't know because COVID is new. So they're discovering things every day. So even if you have a mild case of COVID and you think you're done and over with, there may be something that triggers it. You could get severe cases and die. People don't know what's going on. Scientists don't know exactly what's happening with COVID. So a lot of people are going to die. It's like herpes, it may seem like it's gone away, but there are triggers that will flare it up. So it could be like that. Yeah, it's horrific. I have a photo of a friend from Germany who visited. Well, okay, I'm going to be totally honest with you. She's not really a friend. Yeah, so let me just tell you what happened. She came to Germany, and I met her in the morning. So I started talking with her, and there was a guy next to her. I don't know who he was. I don't know if he's who he was. Like boyfriend, friend, brother. I don't know who he was. So I met them. I started talking, and she didn't explain who he was, and I wasn't going to ask. So yeah. I invited her to like. I said I'll show her around Cambridge, and she said okay. Yeah, and the guy left. I don't know what the situation is. I mean, the guy and the girl talked, and then he left. So I don't know what happened. I didn't ask her. You know, guys, there are certain things guys understand. There's a protocol among guys. Um, I just met her. So she was a stranger. Whoever the guy is a stranger. So it's a calculated risk, right? When you meet two strangers and you talk for like what, 3 minutes, you can take more risk than had you known them for a long time because they don't know anything about you. They're not emotionally vested. You just met them. So, like talk 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, I don't remember how long, very short. So I just threw it out there, I said, hey, you want to, I can show you around. And I just looked at her, didn't look at him, because I didn't want to show him and her around, and geez, I got other things to do than be a tour guide to a couple. But I mean, they weren't like holding hands or anything. They're just kind of, their physical distance was like, there was like a, you know, a, 3 feet of distance between them when they were standing. So it is personal space, like friends, can stand like that. But it's not like they were standing like glued to each other, like boyfriends and girlfriends could do on vacation, holding hands or just being very close, standing there very closely. So I said, hey, I mean, she's nice, she's pretty. Why don't just, you know, I mean, I wasn't thinking I was gonna ask her how, I mean, let's not get all serious here, but I thought, I'll ask her, if she wants to see Cambridge, since I was in Cambridge, England, researching Jewish studies, and she was I guess, apparently a tourist from Germany. So, well, she said yes. I said, well, she said, well, let me talk it over with, let, you know, let me just talk to him. I don't know, did she talk to him or did she just give him a look? I don't know. I don't remember. I'm thinking like she talked to him, but she might not have talked to him. I don't know. I don't remember if she stepped aside, said a few things, and then he left, or if she just gave him a look. I don't know. I don't remember. To be honest with you, I think it was like she made him step aside for a few seconds, and then he was gone. So we spent you know um, time together. Um, so I showed her around the Jesus College, where I'm a member. So you see her in front of the Jesus College main gate, in the doorway, and the Porter's Lodge is right left of it. So Porter's Lodge is where all the mailboxes are, and they're the gatekeepers, right? They take the phone calls. They know who everybody is. They let people in and they block people out. So they're called porters. And where the porters are is the porter's lodge. So they're kind of like security guard people, but England they have all these posh terms. That's why I like England so much. They have all these posh terms. Um, so I showed her around Jesus College. Um, went to different areas. Do you like the garden at Jesus College with the the plant? The garden. Sculpted garden. They do a good job. The gardeners at Jesus College. And then there was a beer festival in Cambridge. A lot of Germans ran it. Maybe she was here for that. Maybe like she came with some beer company. I wasn't interested in like knowing her. I mean, life is short, especially when she's like a tourist for I don't know, not too long. So we just talked about fun stuff. We didn't really get into like background information. Background information is like for friends. When you get to know each other, you pick up background information. But when you're like just like hooking up for a short period, you don't really. I don't know. I mean, I guess you can talk about stuff, but I just rather like focus on the fun. So yeah, so that's what we did. And we had a great time. But yeah. So those are the photos from that. I'm thinking because like like in COVID-19 America or COVID-19 England, you don't have any tourists. You don't have anything like these fun adventures, and you don't have any of those. I feel bad for People who are gonna miss out. When I was like, how old was I? 18 or 19? I backpacked across Europe, with a big, big backpack. Oh, wait, let me. Yeah, I think it was 19. So yeah, I remember now. Well, I backpacked across Europe several times. When I was 18, 17, 18, and then also when I was 19. Yeah, because in the summer I took German language course, hand in Germany. So that was like 5 week class, and then I did some touring around. And then the following summer, I received a fellowship from German Academic Exchange, German government sponsored agency, and it's for day, um, DAAD. Um, I had a fun time in Regensburg, and then I went up to. It's crazy story. I don't know if I should share it. Okay, why not? I'll share it with you. So, oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, I'll share it with you. I mean, life is short, yeah. So, just to show you what you're missing. Um, yeah. So, like, the program was like, like they had 100%, 100 people. Was it 100? No, I think it was like 50. 50 people from all over America who applied for this fellowship, German sponsored fellowship, and it's very highly competitive. So, smartest people got it. Um, and I got like 3 courses transferred to University of Pennsylvania out of it. These were courses conducted in German at University of Regensburg in Bavaria in Germany. So, academic credit wise, I guess it's like, 12 units or, like 16, 12 units, or, 9 units or 12 units or whatever. Um, yeah. So, it's like a semester's worth of classes. Um, and then at the end, no, it wasn't at the end. Was it at the end of the program? No, no. Yeah, wait a minute. Oh, one weekend trip. Weekend trip. One weekend trip. I went with John Toh, Toth. He was I was an undergraduate at University of Pennsylvania, and he was a master's student somewhere. He was like, I think the coolest guy in the program, I guess. Um, he was cool because what ended up happening was we went to eastern Germany, eastern part of Germany, and he had a one night stand. So instantly he became a celebrity among the 50, the guys. Well, I mean, even among the women. You know how women are. I don't, maybe I should say that, but like, so like, we all went to East Germany as part of our program. And then we spent some time at Kneipe. Kneipe is like a kind of like a bar. And he started, chatting up a girl in French drague. Drague is like, you in colloquial in French for chatting up a girl. Serge Gourma, my best buddy from Hebrew University of Jerusalem, told me, he was in the Ma'of program, and like, French Jews, they send like 40, 50 people to Israel per year, and they give them scholarship. And it's like sponsored by the French Jewish Agency or something like that. So it was in that program, and he ended up making Aliyah, which is immigration to France. And so he speaking French, told me all these colloquial terms like drague, baise, stuff like that. Baise means to kiss, but that's not what it means in the colloquial sense. Yeah, but anyway, so you know, yeah, so John Toe chatted up. Hey, John, you're probably watching the show, you know. Sorry if your wife is watching. No, no, no. I mean, I'm sure he's like, he is who he is. I mean, it's not like he's, and he's a guy. Most guys are like this. I mean, just, I mean, we live in the real world. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, so like at the Kneipa, other guys want to score, but he's like he actually took the initiative. So he walked up to a German girl, East girl from East Germany, like I think it was in Weimar, Germany, that area, and he started chatting her up. And then he had one night stand with this girl, so he became an instantly celebrity in the program. That's considered the coolest guy. In the male world, guy who scores is the coolest guy. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, Korea, Japan, China, Germany, France. I mean, guys are guys. What are you gonna do? So he instantly became like the hero of all the guys because he scored with a stranger German girl, East German from East German, like Weimar Republic area. Um, and Yeah, so I guess he wanted to travel with me. I mean, I guess he thought I was cool. I was very popular with all the women in the program. And I don't know, what women said about me, but like women like me. All the women like me. Like I guess I was thinking like as a friend. I mean, I, I liked all the women in the program, and some of them are really attractive. So I want to, I would love to have some of them as my girlfriend. But I mean, but forgive me, sir, but I'm going to be honest with you, um, but um, but anyway, I studied hard, I'm like, I back then, I guess yeah, I just work, memorizing the German vocabulary, new words, I, I was like focused in German, learning and becoming proficient and like, fluent in German, um, I mean, I was proficient in German. I was, getting to fluency. So I was working hard. But anyway, John's like, he wanted to travel with me to, at that time, Czech Republic, Czech Slovakia. So we went, and, like most people did not know German, like English. They knew German, but not everybody knew German either. So he and I, we traveled, and we being guys, especially John, he's always trying to score, You know, John's funny, but anyway, I like dancing and he likes scoring. So I mean, in a way, there's a meeting of minds in the sense that I could go and dance, and he could try to score. If he dances just to score. Most guys are like that. They don't like dancing. They dance just to score. So John and I, we were like just I like dancing, so um, so we said, we just we, we tried to discover the best club in the city. So we ended up going to this club, and it ended up being like, geez, it was like, yeah, it was like out in the boondocks, like I guess away from the police. I guess some of the people are doing substances. I'm substances free. I don't believe you should be doing marijuana, cocaine for any reason. Um, so, but I guess when you go to like a like a techno scene, they have like ecstasy or they have stuff. I never take them. I'm just like a not anti-drug kind of person. So, but so it was like way out, like somewhere like in the underground area. I mean, it's not underground, but it was like in like a way like in the city area where like it looked pretty dangerous. I'm telling you, John told was afraid we were gonna get mugged. It was like we're two Americans, right? Dressed like Americans, and like we're like in this like area where like everybody's like kind of dressed like Marines, like jeans and like t-shirt, um, and so we started dancing. Obviously, we weren't interested in talking to guys, so we're just dancing, and we hooked up with these two girls, pretty girls, they couldn't speak a word of English and they couldn't speak German. You know what I'm saying? I'm a good communicator. I'm actually a licensed ESL teacher now in Virginia and DC. At that time, obviously, I wasn't a teacher. I was an undergraduate. I guess I was like 19. I'm very good at communicating with people of different cultures. These two girls, I guess they started, kind of staying with us. If you ever been to dancing, you have like everybody dancing, and then the girls like you, they'll kind of stay with you. Um, these two girls, they're really pretty, and and they looked like they were 18. I mean, you know, both of John Toe and I, we both agreed that they were, 18 years. Maybe 19, we don't know because we don't know the language. They were saying something in Czech. I don't know what kind of language they speak. Czechish? Czech? Um, but, I don't know what they're saying. So we're like, you know, so we're dancing, and having a lot of fun. Um, and the two girls, they're like, they invited us, Uh, I mean, most people know what it means when girls invite you, like in a club setting. Um, I understood what exactly was going on, and John is like, he's very good at speaking English and German, so he scored with speaking German to a German girl who understood him. But he was kind of at loss for words because like he didn't understand what they were saying, and like they wanted us to come. And I said to John, they want us to come over, and he didn't quite, he's like, what? He's like, he made this face, how women can be. Um, I don't know if you know women. If you're a woman, you know what I mean. When women invite you to like an intimate moment, um, they're very sensitive, right? So, it's like sudden movements or they'll pull their offer back, But anyway, yeah, so they wanted us to come over, but John didn't understand, so he's making this face for them. What do you mean? I'm like, maybe he was tired or something. He had like a lot of beers and other things, drinks. He didn't do drugs or anything, but and the girls looked at his face and they're like, uh, it's like non-verbal communication, John, non-verbal communication. But anyway, it's I was kind of curious where they live, like how the denizens live, what kind of coffee they would offer us, stuff like that. I was kind of culturally interested, Obviously, John was interested in having sex with them, but you know, yeah. So I would have been interested in just going and seeing where they live, and there's generally a ritual to these things, Um, so yeah. But anyway, it was a weekend trip, and I guess John was gonna come back with a trophy, but I guess he blew it, but but yeah, but I mean, what can I say? Hey, John Toe. But yeah, he's probably like, I had lost touch with John, but he's probably a big shot professor, somewhere in some top-notch school somewhere. It's like 50 of us were like the elite of the elites in German, in America, who speak German. That application was very long, to TAAD, German Academic Exchange Service, it's part of the German government. But anyway, I'm a fun guy, so people like to hang out and have fun, I mean, geez, But yeah, on the trip back, these like Czech guys, they start smoking unfiltered cigarettes. Oh, John smoked, but both of us we couldn't breathe. It's like the whole compartment was like white. You see like the whole smoke in there. I'm like, man, we should have like. I told you we should have cuffed up somebody for the first class. It wasn't like $20 more. But anyway, yeah, but you know, so took the train back to Germany from Prague. Um, yeah, but it was fun though. It was a fun trip, you know. Um, yeah, but yeah. Um, so you have these like weekend trips and stuff like that. So she was on a weekend trip. Um, and so yeah, we had a good time. She you know I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, the backpacking thing was fun. I mean, you know, okay, the weekend trip wasn't really a backpacking thing, but uh, after the program ended, uh, I traveled with two women from my program. They're really pretty. Um, one went to St. Olaf College. She was a undergraduate from St. Olaf, blonde, blue-eyed, beautiful. Like she's like 100% German descent. Um, and St. Olaf, which state is that in? St. Olaf. So she was I think it's a Lutheran college, and she's pretty. She was pretty. And then so she wanted, so I traveled with her and another friend from Washington, state of Washington, and she get this. She's really pretty. She won. She went to Washington State University, and they have a pageant, like beauty pageant, and she won. So she was like Miss. I forgot the title that they had. It wasn't like Miss Washington State University. There's a term, like she used a term. I don't, I forgot. She told me I remember for a while, but I forgot. So she won like the beauty pageant of Washington State University. She ended up going to University of Washington for PhD in German. She was an undergraduate when I met her. Ended up going to, for PhD in University of Washington, and then ended up marrying a guy from University of Washington. And so, lucky guy. She's really pretty. Um, but so I traveled with her and Washington, Miss Washington State University, and Miss, well, she didn't enter any beauty contest, but St. Olaf gal, St. Olaf College gal. So we that's when I backpacked because the program was over. Everything I owned was in the backpack, big backpack. I actually bought a backpack from Prague, brought it back, and I threw out the backpack. I had like suitcases. I threw the suitcase out because I was going to like a long program, 6 or 7 week program. So I brought a suitcase, but you can't. It's hard to travel around Europe on back, like with a suitcase thing. I mean, geez, it's easier to just carry it. So I bought this backpack. Like it actually had aluminum frames. It was really nice, and it was cheap. So I got it, and so I used that purple color. I like the color purple. Um, Purple Rain. Prince. Good song. But anyway, so so we took a train from Regensburg all the way up to Nordsee. Nordsee is North Sea, and that's where Germans go for summer vacation at the beach. Obviously, where are you going to go but the beach, right? So I am the luckiest guy in the world. Two beautiful, the most beautiful women in my program. One blonde, one brunette. And I'm on the train from Regensburg all the way to North Sea, with two beautiful women, the most beautiful women in my program. So we're taking the train up, and it's going to be, we're going there to have fun at the beach. I mean, jeez, can you get any luckier than that? Like in the back, you see behind me, like that, but just two of them. Um, so we go there, um, and oh, the beach was great. I thought it'd be fun, so I purchased strawberry wine. I'm like, what the heck is strawberry wine? I've never heard of it before. Uh, in Germany, like drinking age is 16. Yeah, I know. I was 19, but they both were like 19 or 18. But anyway, so this was in Germany. It was the law of the land there. So I bought like a bottle of like strawberry wine. And is that even alcoholic? Strawberry wine? It's more like I don't know. I didn't know what it was. It was strawberry wine. Um, so yeah, so I got this wine bottle and the two girls and I we you know opened it and drank our strawberry wine. We had a great time. We spent the whole time there, several days, just at the beach. It was so nice and so fun. But I did drag both of them to church, right? Right? You remember? Sure, both of them watched this show. I dragged both of them to church. Yes, and I had my church outfit, a tie and everything. I actually had like a, like dinner jacket, pants. It was wrinkled though. I had no where to like iron it because we stayed at like a traveling place. Um, so cheap. We were like all students doing cheap, travel. We're trying to keep like you know night stay at under $10, kind of thing. So we found the cheapest place, and we had to walk like a mile and a half to get there. From the train station. I'm like, geez, man, maybe we should cough up some money for like a nicer place. So we walked to the beach like it's like 3 miles to the beach. We walk to the beach every day and walk back. Um, got a lot of exercise. But anyway, I dragged both of the girls to the church. Um, they're both Christians. Obviously, everybody's Christian in America. Like over 300 million people are Christians. So I mean, who's not a Christian? I mean, it's hard to find people who are not Christians. Um, so I dragged them to church, and then I made them stay for like Bible study. It was all in German. And you picked a very conservative church, like fundamentalist German Lutheran church. And yeah, it was nice. It was nice to meet German churchgoers. They're all really like formally dressed. So like the two girls were a little bit, like embarrassed because they were what they had, the best that they had were, but none of them brought like Sunday clothes. Um, so yeah, so it was yeah, so backpacking was so much fun. I mean, it was only like for like a week or so after our program, but yeah, I had a good time, and they both did too. Um, yeah, so anyway, backpacking through Europe, is something that you're not going to have, and you know, uh, they say, Dr. Fauci says COVID's going to be around for at least 2022, maybe longer. I actually think it's forever, just like HIV virus, hepatitis C virus, except it's much deadlier. It spreads much easily. But let's see. Hopefully I'm not right, but seems like it's right. Um, yeah, yeah. So it's kind of so yeah. Um, Yeah, now talking about backpacking through Europe, we're gonna do five top COVID-19 cases in the world. And USA, man, the woman who marries me is so lucky. She'll be happy every day of her life. Hopefully, but most days of her life. I don't know. Hopefully, all the days of her life. But yeah, let's see. I mean, I'm excited. Maybe, I don't know what God has in store for me. I'm not married. I've never been married. I don't have children. So yeah, let's see, let's see which woman is, wins my heart, you know. Uh, yeah, but anyway, yeah. So USA is number one at 10,200, the 10,238,965 cases. We're down to 2% death rate, but more cases, more death, right? So 239,598 people have died. Um, Number two is India, 8,591,730 cases. Again, more cases, more deaths. So 1% of them are dying, but 127,059 have died so far. Yeah, that's a lot. Almost all of them from summer. Yeah, that's the shocking thing about India. Almost all of the deaths are from summer. That's how horrific summer can be. And India's hot in the summer, you know? Brazil is number three, another place that's really, really hot. 5,699,005 people have gotten COVID. A 3% death rate, 162,802. So obviously, if you have higher death rate, you're gonna have higher deaths. And in the flu season, you could have over 10% death rate. So that's coming. Yeah. So you should be very concerned. You're in a state where they haven't shut down. You should be very concerned. A lot of people are going to die. Yeah. So France. So France is number four. So 1,857,309 have gotten it, and at 2% death rate, 41,062 have died. Uh, yeah, France is in serious trouble. They should probably become more severe with the lockdown, you know, because we have 6 more months to go. I told you for 6 months, everything will be closed and locked down. We're headed there in America too, because that's the only way to survive COVID. There's no other way. Um, Russia has 1,802,762. Cases. At 2% death rate, they have 30,899 deaths. So it's very, very serious. You know how many people are dying around the world. But we're number one for COVID-19 deaths. And so that's a really bad thing. Um, I have 3 articles for you just to show how bad things are in America. We're not going to survive with lies, you know, right? Liberal media keeps lying to you. We're not going to survive with lies. We need the truth. You know, Harry the Owl agrees. We need the truth to survive. So the title is Hospitalizations Spike in America. As you know, my prediction is that all the hospitals in the Washington, D.C. area will be completely filled in November. Like by December, you know, we'll have massive death in every hospital. So November, every hospital is going to fill up in D.C. area. As you know, I'm in Arlington, Virginia, which is basically next to D.C., Washington, D.C. So the first article is U.S. sees record 131,000 COVID-19 infections as hospitalizations hit peak. It's by Fidel Alisan, Axios. Is that Feliz? Fidel? Can you love the German music in the background? Yeah, it's in honor of the German girl at Cambridge. Well, the German girl who visited Cambridge. Yeah. So the article quote is, the U.S. confirmed the record high 130,989 new coronavirus infections on Tuesday, while the number of people currently hospitalized with the virus hit a peak of 61,964, according to the tally by the COVID Tracking Project. Yeah. Hospitalization is growing. I mean, all 61,964 people can die. Um, by the numbers, the spread of the virus is showing no signs of slowing. We have 6 more months of the flu season to go. Um, yeah, that could easily become 6 million in a few months. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah. I worked 7 to 7 shift, so 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. shift at Virginia Hospital Center. As you know, I'm a nurse, registered nurse, so I work as a nurse. And some of the lucky souls in Arlington, Alexandria, Falls Church of Fairfax County, uh, you know, had the pleasure of or the expert skill of Heerak, the RN nurse. Yeah, now I think people are traveling from like Loudoun County and other counties just to hit that lottery of being served by Heerak, the RN nurse at Virginia Hospital Center. I'm just joking, but yeah. But anyway, yeah. So yeah. So I'll continue reading. Um, the spread of the virus is showing no sign of slowing. Um, as U.S. surpassed 10 million reported cases on Monday. The 15 days with the highest number of new cases have all taken place over the past 18 days. 18 days, past 18 days, because flu season is coming. So, the way it works is you get infected, infections grow, and the death starts to come. So you can see why we're headed to 3 million deaths, 3 million to 30 million deaths, right? 18, past 18 deaths, past 18 days, you have these spikes, right? That's going to end up in death. Second article that shows that we're headed to 3 million people dying from COVID-19, minimum 3 million people dying in the United States alone by June 2021. Second article, COVID-19 hospitalizations hit record high as illness peaks in 3 states. Yeah, they're peaking. Illnesses are peaking. And they're breaking their own record. Significant quote from that is COVID-19 hospitalization rates hit an all-time high in the US on Tuesday, that's today, Tuesday. As the illness peaked in at least 3 states. I told you, if you do not illegalize Halloween parties and trick-or-treating, we're going to have exponential growth. Do you remember me warning you in this show? Before Halloween, I warned you for like weeks and weeks. I tweeted out to Arlington County government, Fairfax County government, Alexandria City government, Foster City government to illegalize or ban Halloween parties and trick-or-treating for this year alone. Because if we don't, it's going to multiply, get out of hand. They didn't listen. See, a lot of infections are coming in Arlington, Alexandria, Falls Church, and Fairfax County in the next several days. But before Halloween, we had much lower cases, like 80,000-ish, or less than that. So now we are like 50% more, right? It's ridiculous. How many people are getting COVID? 131,000 people have gotten COVID in one day. The hospitalizations are now growing. The record 61,964 people were hospitalized with the virus nationwide, according to a tally kept by COVID Tracking Project. That number exceeds level reached in the early days of the pandemic when 59,940 hospitalized patients were reported on April 15th. Do you remember April? We had up to like 5,000 people die per day. New York Times reported, yeah, we're headed to massive death. There's no two ways about it. People are going to die in large numbers. Can't be avoided. Third article, COVID-19 hospitalization are surging. Where are hospitals reaching capacity? That's the question mark. Throughout the US, hospitals and healthcare workers are tracking the skyrocketing number of new coronavirus cases in their communities and bracing for a flood of patients to come in the wake of these infections. Already, seriously ill COVID-19 patients are starting to flip or fill up hospital beds at unsustainable rates. US hospitalizations overall have nearly doubled since late September. So this is starting basically like since late September, beginning of the flu season. I told you the third peak is September to December, right? So it starts peaking in September, so I'm right. To continue reading the article, we have legitimate reason to be very, very concerned about our health system at a national level, says Lauren Sauer, an assistant professor of emergency medicine at Johns Hopkins University, who studies hospital surge capacity. She's an expert on this one. Like nationwide, she's probably top one or top two expert. As of Monday, hospitalizations are now rising in 47 states. 47 states! Hospitalization is rising in 47 states. I told you we're gonna have at least 60,000 people die in every state. Look at that, 47 states. Hospitalization is rising, it's gonna continue to rise, then death is gonna rise. We're gonna have at least 60,000 people die in every state. 47 states, hospitalization is rising. Rising, they're gonna keep rising until May. Yes, yes. That's November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, May. 7 months we're gonna have, it's gonna continue to rise consistently. Yes, so we have like what, 1,300 deaths? I'm predicting we're gonna have 30,000 people die every day in America before June 2021. You don't think this can happen? Look at this, 47 states have COVID-19 rising. Not just COVID-19, hospitalization rising. We're talking about hospitalization. In a couple of weeks, we're going to be talking about deaths. You see, a few weeks ago, we started talking about cases. Now we're talking about hospitalization rates rising. A few weeks later, we're going to talk about deaths rising. So all 50 states, you have to prepare incinerators to burn thousands of bodies very quickly. Because if you don't burn the bodies, you may have other plagues start. Yeah, you just have to burn the bodies. These are, COVID-19 bodies. Yeah, that's coming. I started this show to save your life, and the lives of your children, to give you facts, you can survive COVID-19. Yeah, so can I get a 5 on surviving COVID-19? Can I get a 5 on surviving COVID-19? Survive the COVID-19. But not everybody's going to survive COVID-19. I'm predicting at least 5 people from my program, Clinical Nurse Leader Program at Georgetown University, will die out of 25. 20% of us will die before Christmas 2020. 2 months. In 2 months, I'm predicting 5 of us, Clinical Nurse Leader Program members, will die. If they're, all working in hospitals. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go to a cheer. CNL 2020, yay! We did it. If you die from COVID before Christmas, you can put a Christmas tree in your tombstone with the tabulation that reads, I did it! I graduated from Georgetown August 24, 2020, and you can frame your diploma on your tombstone or engrave it on the tombstone. Yay! So yeah, we have to face reality. Some are going to die. We can't. I mean, I'm trying to present it in a way that is not too, you know what I'm saying? But it is really serious, right? People are going to die. People are going to die, right? Your classmates are going to die. That can't be avoided. This is COVID-19, a global pandemic. People are saying this is once in 100-year pandemic because they're looking at Spanish flu pandemic of 1918, which killed over 50 million people. But it may be far worse. It may be, it may end up killing 2 billion people. We don't know yet. It's too soon. If it kills like 2 billion people, like, close to 1/3 of the population in the world, then it will earn its reputation as the Black Plague, the Black Death of the modern era. Something that happens on every like 500 years. Yeah, it's one of those. It could be, could be. Hopefully not, but it could be. And you know what the ironic thing is? They're building all these like vaccines. Obviously, vaccines are based on like COVID-19 concepts, right? Um, what if the vaccines are harmful? They end up becoming harmful. So it's possible that 2 billion people die not from the original COVID-19 virus, but the vaccinations can end up killing 2 billion people. If the vaccines are not safe, right? They can. I mean, that's why people research vaccines over a long period of time because they don't want any kind of adverse reaction. So that's the catch-22 we are in. What if the vaccines end up becoming harmful? We haven't perfected the vaccine technology. That's a very, very serious concern. Yeah. Anyway, I will bring you more insights and facts tomorrow in tomorrow's show, COVID-19 Update by Heerak. So tune in tomorrow. See you later, alligator. So long, crocodile. I hope that you will survive COVID, you and your children. See you tomorrow. Watch this show every day to survive COVID. Bye.